Hi, my name is Edgar Ortiz. For my research presentation, I will be talking if vaccination it is morally correct. Before I answer the question of the subject, we need to understand what are vaccines, how they work, the pros and cons, why people refuse to get vaccinated, why are so important, and what can happen if people don't get vaccinated. Okay. What are vaccines? Vaccines are those preparations either by bacteria, attenuated viruses, or microorganisms that are administered to people to generate active and lasting immunity against a disease by stimulating the production of defense. The main reason of vaccines is to have the body to create specific antibodies to prevent disease or infections, recreating the disease on a smaller scale which does not put in risk the person in which it is administered. How vaccines work. When a vaccine is administered, the immune system recognizes the antigen, interprets that it is the disease and produces antibodies or defense against it. Therefore, if the person comes into contact with the microorganism against which he was vaccinated at some time in his life, the defense generated by the vaccine are responsible for protecting it to prevent the disease. Pros of vaccination. A vaccine is the safest substitute as a child first exposure to a disease. The child receives protection without having to get sick. Newborns babies are immune to many diseases because they have antibodies that they receive from the mothers. However, this immunity disappears during the first years of life. If an unvaccinated child is exposed to a germ of the disease, the child's body may not have the strength enough to fight the disease. Before vaccines, many children die from disease that vaccines now prevent. Vaccinating individual children also helps protect the health of our community, especially those who cannot be vaccinated for medical reasons and the small percentage of people who do, who do not respond to vaccines. Vaccines preventable diseases have a costly impact as they result in medical visits, hospitalizations, and premature deaths. Sick children can also cause parents to lose work time. Each ingredient in a vaccine is included for a reason. Before the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, determines whether a vaccine is safe and effective, it is carefully evaluated by scientists and doctors considering all the ingredients. Cons of vaccination. In August 2011, the Institute of Medicine's IOM published an in-depth review report of current medical and scientific evidence about vaccines and certain health problems that may occur after vaccination. Vaccine safety concerns include autism, fainting, febrile seizures, Guillain-Barré syndrome (GBS), and sudden infant death syndrome (SIDS). Vaccine opponents claim that the immune system naturally recognizes the germ that enters the body as foreign invaders and produces the necessary antibodies to fight them. CDC warns the vaccine carry risk of side effects. They are usually mild and disappear on their own. Serious side effects are also possible, but they are very rare. The government has awarded $2 to $5 million to victims of damage or deaths caused by vaccine. The administration of 6, 7, or 8 doses of vaccines to a child during a single visit to the doctor may be convenient for the parents, since they do not have to make additional visits to the pediatrician, but there is an evidence that links the adverse reaction with a high number of doses administered at the time. Why do people refuse to be vaccinated or vaccinate their children? People who refuse to be vaccinated or decline to vaccine their children are known as anti-vaxxers. Not all people who are not vaccinated are anti-vaxxers. This depends on the situation in which they are living or what religious or moral point of view these people have. Many people do not get vaccinated simply because they are concerned if vaccines are really safe and effective, or may believe that administering several vaccines at the same time can be harmful and tend to delay vaccines for another time. Other people do not get vaccinated due to free choice negligence for having unconscious prejudice. Finally, many people simply do not have access to vaccines due to immigration status, financial freedom, insecurity, distance from health centers, among others. Why vaccines are so important? Vaccines and drinking water are the two most important tools for disease prevention. Many years ago, when vaccines did not exist, some diseases produced thousands of deaths per year. Vaccines have greatly reduced infectious diseases that once damaged or killed many babies, children, and adults. Vaccines are our best protection against a number of serious and sometimes fatal diseases. What can happen if we don't get vaccinated? In the case of not getting vaccinated, if we have contact with the microorganisms that cause the infection, we can have the disease. Some of these diseases can cause major complications or even death. In addition, it is essential to be aware that not only can we get sick but also transmit the disease to more vulnerable people who cannot receive vaccines, such as newborn babies, people with low defense over 65 years of age, and pregnant people. Is vaccination morally correct? Vaccination is one of the most successful and cost-effective public health interventions. The World Health Organization (WHO) estimates that an average of 2 to 3 million deaths are avoided every year thanks to vaccines. Many more lives are protected from acute and lifelong illness due to disabilities caused by infections. The international community and policymakers have long recognized the immense benefit of vaccination and have made a concerted effort and invested billions of dollars in global immunization campaigns. This has successfully reduced the burden of infectious diseases. For example, in 1988, at the beginning of the worldwide eradication of polio, which 1,000 children worldwide were paralyzed every day, and today most of the countries in the world are free of this disease. During this investigation, we could see how vaccination is composed, the risk of not getting vaccinated, the pros and cons, and why it's so important to get vaccinated. Now, we can discuss why getting vaccinated is morally correct. It has been shown with scientific facts that vaccination is the best way to prevent diseases and maintain a safe and healthy protected community. Vaccines are necessary to prevent serious life-threatening disease and to safeguard large part of the population for immense damage caused by outbreaks and epidemics. It is the duty of each citizen to get vaccinated in order to protect each member of his family and the people who are in his surroundings. In this way, we can comply with ethics and moral of ensuring the welfare of people. Not getting vaccinated can put your health and people's health at risk. Not getting vaccinated will be a selfish action because the person who doesn't want to get vaccinated will be thinking about themselves and not about the welfare of society or their families. All true. The rejection of vaccination will not disappear. It is everyone's duty to educate people why it is so important to get vaccinated. And we must work as a team as responsible citizens who want a healthy and disease-free society. We must understand and distinguish the risks and benefits between getting vaccinated and not getting vaccinated, since in any case it is better to be prepared, not to be, and to bear the cost of not acting on time. Failure to get vaccinated will have more implications and carry costs that must be accounted for. For example, an outbreak of the disease. Failure to get vaccinated will be paid a high risk if an intelligent decision is not made in time to remain the disease free. This will conclude my presentation. Oh, no. Question for the class. Do you think that vaccination is correctly modeled in our society? Should vaccination be mandatory? If you are a person who does not believe in vaccination, what do you propose to replace vaccination?